Wait, are you sure this is everything?
I'm pretty sure because I got demonic cultivation, husky and white cat, thousand autumns, amongst us, undead unluck, Ashimon, black clover, something similar to children, adventure zone, critical roles, mashal, gachiata, and Dandadan. Those are all the books I read in 2024.
Okay,
This is everything here. It's 29 books.
let's start with the book you actually didn't read. So let's talk about Don Volume
But no,
9.
hold on. Okay, hold on. I read it. I fully read it. Listen, I read faster than you, I think.
Okay, do you want to do you want me to give a summary of this volume?
Very good. Would recommend. Yes. Hold on. No. Let me try to with what I remember. Also, all of my ones I did before are gone, and I don't remember where I put them. So.
Well, you can figure that out yourself.
Okay, I'll do that in a minute. Okay, so Dandadan. This is when the alien girl showed up for the first time, right? Like they took her out of the suit, and
That's a part of it. That's not the entire book.
they beat her up for one. Then they take her out of the suit, and she looks. Technically, Square Guy. I don't know his name. I'm so sorry. Technically beat her. However, Okron is the first person to let her out, and so she thinks that she has to marry, or she's married to him now, or something. Because obviously there's that conflict. And then the girls hang out, and Momo and the alien girl, they get attacked by something in an alleyway or something. There's a ghost or something there. But the girlies hang out, and they're actually kind of friends. Is that right?
I mean, that's a part of it. To recap, at the end of Volume 8, where the Evil Eye takes over Gigi's body, so now the gang is stuck with that, and they are also all trapped inside of Momo's house due to a kaiju attack, which is the said girl you're talking about. So Kinta, the character you could not remember his name.
That's the bitch. That's him.
Transforms the entire house into a mech of the Buddha statue.
Right. Yes.
And because of his wild imagination, he is the best pilot for this technology. And they end up fighting this kaiju. Everyone gets separated from the mech at some point, and eventually, once they beat the kaiju, they discover that it's actually a mech suit of an alien girl named Vamola.
That's her name. She's got changeling powers. She can change her costume and stuff.
Yes, she also scans Momo's clothes, and they now wear the same outfit.
Where would you put it out of all? Since you've read all of the Dandadan books, and I have watched season 1 and read volume 9.
I would keep it at that ranking.
Very good. Would recommend. All right. Not life-changing. What series do we want to do next? We could do Black Clover. We could do...
Black Clover is 2 books.
Yeah, there's 2 Black Clovers.
Where does
34 and 35.
Volume 34 of Black Clover. Asta fucking dies.
Yep. Yep.
We also learned that Lucius has brainwashed a bunch of people, including Sister Lily, who has now become a paladin, to the Isle of the Sun, where Asta is.
Oh, wait. Yes, I remember that, because I remember that upset me so much. Because the scene right before she gets transformed into a paladin fucked me up. That fucked me up. I hated that. I will probably put, if I remember correctly, if it's mostly just trending, I'll probably put good, but won't read again.
There's a lot of backstory for Yami and his family as well.
Which I loved. I remember I loved reading that. That was so much fun. But yeah.
Yes, and
because I remember 35 was when the equivalent of Godzilla and the kaijus are coming out from the ocean, right?
That was still 34.
Oh, was
35 is when we flash back to the Clover Kingdom. Yes. Once they defeat the sea beasts that the paladins brought, the Isle of the Sun has a huge fun celebration, and then we move back to the Clover Kingdom, where all of the Magic Knights have gathered to fight Lucius, who also brings back two very particular, very important characters, that being Morrigan and and the Silva family's mother. Also, Leopold is still missing.
Yep. He'll be back eventually. But yeah, 2024, I feel like their books were good, but they were obviously setting up for something later. And it's very obvious. Anyway, what's next?
Volume 14, this is still the midst of the Ragnarok fight. Opening up with Nico fusing with the Ghost while fighting Andy.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
This is a very painful fight to watch. Because it is not Nico, it is Ghost primarily taking over.
He's so sad and vulnerable.
Nico dies also.
Well, a lot of people die, but but they also die in
That's volume 15.
That's volume 15.
Volume 14 is mostly about Fuko's return and and Nico's passing.
I think volume 14, I'm just gonna put it as very good, would recommend. Because 15...
volume 15 is the penultimate finale of Ragnarok.
I feel like this is the most finale season 1 of books.
Volume 15 of Undead Unluck was
I'm putting in a change my brain chemistry.
Yes, that is that's allowed.
This fucked me up.
I want to talk about.
Before we talk about what is in the book, I want to talk about the cover. For a finale book, the cover alone is like, compared to every cover up until 15, it is this like highly detailed, action cover of one of the characters or something, like especially after going through like the ruin arc where the books
14
are like black,
is
right?
Specifically volume 14 is a very dark cover. This is something,
but like they also like the cover, they go from like white books to black books, and it's like it is, and
volume 11 it changes, everything changes in volume 11.
Oh yeah, and like the covers of these books like physically change to show you that, hey, the story is really messed up from this point forward. But then you immediately get to 15 and the story's not over yet from the end of 14, but the cover is light and it's like cell shaded, it's not fully colored in. It looks like
it represents all of the negators we've met through
so far. Even the ones that up to that point are dead, like they're back.
Yeah, even Unsick is there.
Yeah, it's like a full circle. I remember when I looked at the cover for the first time before I even read it, I very much thought like, oh shit, it's over. Like was my thought. And reading the book, also, yeah, it's over. Like, so what happens in the book?
This is actually
this is the final fight against Ragnarok.
This is
against
the
God.
Finale of Ragnarok.
God. Anyway, hold on. Before we started talking about 16, talk about 15 and how it like made us feel.
15. I was
cried. I wept.
I didn't cry, but 15 was the closest to getting me to cry.
That 15 fucked me up in a way I don't think a manga has ever fucked me up before. It was gorgeous. It was a beautiful ending and also reboot in the same book. Yeah, opinions? Thoughts, prayers?
I remember reading this on a train, trying not to cry.
I read it on a bus, trying not to cry. I did cry a little bit. My eyes got a little watery. Good book. Best book in the series by far, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to put 16 and should change my brain chemistry because 16 just gets wild.
I enjoyed 16 a lot. Volume 16 is the start of is Fuko starting to rebuild Union.
Okay, so yeah, it's 17, which was there the entire time, I promise. What city was Creed in? I don't remember. But they go to...
It's not New Orleans, hold on.
No, for some reason I think it's LA, but that's not right either.
Sorry, not Creed, Void. Jesus.
Void. Creed doesn't, yes. Oh god.
Creed is later on in this.
Mm-hmm.
This is Void Volks, unavoidable.
Unavoidable. Because Void is an unavoidable. There's a whole pun there too, I don't know why we didn't get that.
Yeah.
Void is crazy. I love him.
They fight. We learn that Void grew up basically homeless.
Creed's backstory is
Void.
Fuck. Void's backstory is basically just like Rocky. And I've never actually seen the movie, but I'm pretty sure that is just Rocky. So Void is just Rocky. Like it's the same story. But,
I don't think he was homeless though.
Okay, fair enough.
Before the fight starts, he does not have unavoidable.
Yeah,
yet
unavoidable.
An old Japanese man has unavoidable.
But he gets tickets to see this boxing show in America. And then he dies in he dies in the fucking in the arena, of old age. Completely unrelated. Old man gets scared and dies, and then Void gets unavoidable. That's completely unrelated. That's just how that happens. As much as I love this volume, I think I'm just gonna put it in good, but probably won't read again.
I would.
It was a very. I mean, you are reading it again currently. I could see you holding the book in your hand.
Well, I'm doing it for research.
Yeah, research. Maybe I'll just put very good recommend. But I probably won't put it above volume 14. You know what I mean? I'll leave it there. Moving on, what do you want to do next? What series do you want to do next?
I think let's do Ayashimon because
Ayashimon? Sure.
So this is a really interesting, very short series done by the same author as Hell's Paradise, which I highly recommend. Quick summary: Ayashimon is about about this guy named Maru who wants to be like all of his favorite manga characters. This is basically One Punch Man combined with Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah. I'm going to preemptively take all of it and put it into good, but probably won't read again.
I agree with that.
I very much enjoyed. Oh, the art is amazing.
The art in the Yuji Kaku, the author, is an amazing artist, and I want to read the Hell's Paradise manga at some point as well. This is a pretty T-rated series. Yeah. Hell's Paradise is a very mature, grim series, and seeing the full extent of how dark Yuji can go to is amazing.
No, this one's way more teen rated. It's
the story of yokai gangs and one human surpassing the heights of.
It is honestly it is a very, very cool and very interesting series, and I loved it. I did in fact actually really like reading it. It was a lot of fun. But I did not. Here, I think I'll put 1 and 2 in very good, would recommend, and then 3 lower because I have an issue with book 3 with the way it.
What is your issue with?
The way the volume 3 ended, I felt like it was setting up for a continued series. But the fact that this is it.
It's a 3-volume series.
It's a 3-volume series. This is it. That's all there. This is where all that will ever be.
You know what this could be was a great movie.
This would be an amazing movie. However, the way the ending of book 3, it very much feels like it's setting up for more, and more gangs, more arcs outside of it. You know, it's setting up to be like, oh, cool. He's now that he's fully in this world. He's
a human in a yokai's world.
Human in a yokai world, but he's now actually in it. By the end of the series, he's a full-fledged member, and he's respected by the other yokai around him. But that leaves a lot. There's a lot more that I want to see from that series now, because it is a very much book 1, 2, and book 1 and 2 is very much him. Book 1 specifically is very much him gaining his bearings, trying to learn a lot of things. 2, we're introduced to the main villain, and there's a lot more conflict. And then 3,
we're introduced to more allies too.
Yeah, exactly.
Their gang.
Exactly. And then 3, I wanted to see more because these characters are so cool and very interesting, and I wanted to see more from them.
There's only 24 chapters in these 3 volumes.
Yeah. And I genuinely want to see more. The ending is good. And it is good for, like, if you just want a quick read and you don't want to take it too seriously, but the way it ends very much sets it up as, like, if the author wanted to do more with this series, he absolutely could. I don't think he will. That's already confirmed that he won't, but, like, I don't know, the way it ended, I was, like, a little sad. I was like, dang. Like, it wasn't as satisfying as it ended.
Hell's Paradise, as a 13-volume... I think it's 13 or 15 volume series, has such a good and satisfying ending.
Yeah, and this one didn't have it. And knowing that the author can supply those satisfying endings, a little sad. You know what I mean? Like I still very much enjoyed the series. Great series. Like, read it if, like, but the way it ends, it just, I know he could do better. You know what I mean? But the art is very good. Okay, hold on. Before we continue, let's do a couple of singles. Mashal. I started reading Mashal in 2024. I'm going to just put very good, would recommend. Didn't change my brain chemistry or anything. It was chill. It's Mashal. You didn't read the Mashal manga.
No, let's talk about something I did read, which is the Suffering Game. I never watched.
Game.
I did not watch any of Adventure Zone. I've only been reading them, and it is a series I've come to very much enjoy, and seeing all of the tragic events transpire through this whole book is so heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm. I listened to Taz Balance while it was releasing. I think I managed. I didn't start it when it started, but like I think I was fully caught up on the series by the time the Suffering Game was releasing, and I was listening week to week by the time the Seven Birds came out. The Suffering Game, the way it as someone who listened to it. The way it's translated, the Adventure Zone graphic novels do such a good job at retelling the story. They even add parts that weren't in the series, and like they add more context and stuff. Actually, I want you to tell me where you would put it on our tier list.
I think it's good there.
All right, but like, yeah, I love it. I love all the Adventure Zone books. I think they're amazing.
The Beauregard and Caduceus books are very good too. There's not a lot to say. It's literally a backstory explaining who they are, and I think I enjoyed the story of Caduceus significantly more than Beauregard.
I would agree, but that's just because of
it's a very sad story.
It is a story about death, right? And the way he deals with it, and goes through his own trauma. And that's Caduceus as a character. Right?
It's a very sad book because through it you see Caduceus grow up with his family, and towards the middle and end of it you see him just alone with nothing but his thoughts until the Mighty Nine arrive at his doorstep.
With all of these Mighty Nine Origins books, we already know what the book is basically about because you hear about this backstory when you watch the campaign. And I, as a Campaign 2 enjoyer, I don't know if you knew this about me, but I love Essex Thalos a lot. I don't know, it's crazy. But you already know kind of the general idea of these stories, but like seeing them written and told, I don't know, it's fun. Okay, before we do something spilling to the children, I want to quickly do Amongst Us, because this one has a very funny story about me. I'm putting it, this is Amongst Us. Amazing book. I got this because I think I had a gift card or something to Indigo. Found this book, and I thought that they were two gay men. And I said, hey, I'm down for some an original BL story. I collect these little books every once in a while. I have a bunch of them. As I was reading it, I was trying to get an idea of what the story was. A one-shot, I think it's a one-shot modern AU based off of a fantasy webtoon produced by the same author. And these two main characters are lesbians. They're not gay men, they're gay women, and I didn't know that by looking at the title, looking at it. Here, I'm gonna send you the cover, so you could also look at this. I still absolutely very much enjoyed the book while reading it. It's very sweet. It's very much, like, I think there's like 3 chapters in this book, and they're like 3 separate stories about these 2 people returning to their home city, and then they go to an opera, they hang out with their friends, and they're just like at home, like doing laundry and living together. Like, it's one of those like slice of life kind of stories, which I did enjoy. It wasn't what I was expecting, but it was good anyway. That's where I'm putting it. Shall we? I'm gonna let you talk about Something's Killing the Children. I enjoyed it. It was a very good series. It was definitely something.
This series is this is a very good series that is still continuing. It's a bit of a departure from everything else on this list as it is an actual comic series, but Something is Killing the Children is a horror comic series that is has a very similar feel to something like Stephen King, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and a bit of Stranger Things and Supernatural. I wouldn't say it's indie, but its art style is, and I wouldn't say it's an acquired taste, but it's something that you have to get used to a little bit. It's not something you can immediately look at and be like, yeah, I like the art and character design in this. I will say it took me a minute to get used to it, and not to mention that the way that it is paneled out is confusing at some points, but it is a very good series, and I highly recommend reading it if you're into horror. And now for another one that I really like, but you do not like.
Well, we gotta rate it first.
I would put all of them in personally, I'd put it in recommend.
Okay. Not enough to change your brain chemistry?
No.
Okay, fair enough. Gachikura. It is a series created by someone who used to work on the same people who did Soul Eater. My personal opinion on the series is that the art style is super unique and absolutely stunning. The way that they draw and design each of the characters are so unique, and their silhouettes are beautiful and amazing to look at. My biggest issue with the series, and you know this, is that I find all of the characters very bland and one note. All of these characters feel very boring, which it sounds bad, but it's like they have such like punk sort of like or alternative like designs.
To quote Otaku's Anonymous and NC Hammer and Dan Himada, this series is a genre they coined as trash punk.
It really is. It's trash punk, and I genuinely went into this series. I wanted it to be good. I wanted to enjoy it, but I found Rudo honestly just like a really boring character, and he's the main character, and he's in every single scene, right? And I enjoyed the series more when they were just talking about the world. I did not enjoy most of the story because it was extremely hard for me to get into and get behind, and it wasn't like that I found like the story or the lore, the magic system confusing. I understood it. It was the characters themselves did not sell me on the universe. It did not make me want to care about their problems. And that was, that you kind of need a good written character to be able to carry a good story, you know what I mean? I don't know, that's just my opinion of it. And that's why I personally would put just Gachikura as an entire series just in disappointed.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I feel like I didn't say anything, glossed over it. The power system specifically in this series is so interesting.
It is very
and
interesting.
Unique.
Yeah, no,
because the people in a series like Undead Unluck and like My Hero Academia, where they're called negators and negations and quirks, the people of Gachikura are not 100% born with powers. The people that have powers are called givers, meaning they choose an object that they cherish and hold on to, and they give it as much love and care as possible, to the point where they're putting so much care into it that it almost imbuing a subconscious power into it. Mm-hmm. And with the main character Rudo, the gloves he wears that were given to him, like he's cared for his entire life, give him the power to, whenever he touches things that have that are deemed trash by other people, he pulls all of the value from them, turning them somewhat into a weapon and giving them an order. And it's such an interesting series in a world, and like you said in Volume 5, which you have not read, and you haven't read Volume 4 either, but Volume 5 ends on such a unnecessarily, like, dark and edgy note as a chapter.
Okay, and to be clear, we agree that we like stories that have extremely dark elements. I'm looking at Something's Killing the Children on this list, and I'm going like, hey, we fuck with dark elements, right? We like dark stories. Dark elements, edginess, like you know, evil, like just tragic shit like that is cool. A similar
event like that happened in a flashback in Volume 5 of Gachiakura, it just doesn't feel good. Not mostly because it's a child, but also it didn't feel necessary. Like it was like Goblin Slayer unnecessarily edgy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna continue reading this series, and I'm looking at my books and seeing how fucking beat up they are because I've dropped them too many times on the fucking street.
They're well known.
I'm worried that the Gachiakura anime isn't gonna hold the art as good as the manga does. I prefer to read manga just to get the full uncensored experience of the series, and I don't mean uncensored and then being able to see uncensored nudity. I mean being able to see the author's fullest extent and wishes to how the series is meant to turn out, because there's a lot that has been censored in many different series.
Yeah, like obviously, like not even like nudity. I mean, like there's censorship in like language, violence.
If you take anything from this video, is all of just because it's a tier list doesn't mean, and seeing things at the bottom doesn't mean you shouldn't give it a chance.
Yeah, if you want to give it a chance, I mean, this is my personal opinion, and also kind of yours. You're the reason why I read most of these books anyway, so that's why you're here. Anyway, thank you for helping me and recording this video with me.
We'll do this again next year.
We'll do this again next year. Do you want to check yourself out real fast? Do you want to just be like, this is the part of the YouTube video where you should check yourself out. You could follow him at Uncanny Cosplay, or wait, it is Uncanny Cos. Uncanny.cos. Follow him on Instagram. He does cosplay, and I do cosplay sometimes with him. And then also you could follow me on YouTube and Blue Sky at Tiefling Live and wherever else I am. That's the video. Say bye. Bye.